We are starting a new show on Thousand Faces Club YouTube channel. The show is called the Frontrunners Show, which will be co-hosted by me and Rajesh here. We're going to talk about interesting themes in creator economy. We're going to analyze different creators. We're going to analyze their storytelling style. Where do they come from? What is their motivation? What is their goals? And let's try and deconstruct what this word creator economy is and what does it mean. This is going to be a weekly episode. Every week we're going to drop with one interesting theme and we'll keep discussing further. When we started Thousand Faces Club, we got inspired from multiple people who have been doing similar stuff outside India. And one of those people who we really admire was Colin and Sameer. So this show is a attempt to see if we could become Colin and Sameer for India. That's the goal. We are definitely grateful for Colin and Sameer for the kind of work that they do. And we want to set up a similar show
in India
to understand creator economy in India and around Southeast Asia. Let's start with the show.
So today we are going to discuss about a very interesting subject that me and Dharmesh have been discussing offline for a very long time, which is the two major paths that the creators take when they scale up.
We've been analyzing creators for quite some time, and we see certain themes that emerge from the style of the content creation. There might be a doctor who is talking only about health. It seems relevant. How about a doctor who talks about productivity? That's something different, right? Now, how do you differentiate between a doctor who talks about medicine and a doctor who's making content on productivity, right? Now, the doctor making content on productivity is very unique to the social media landscape. So we were wondering if there are different types of creators in YouTube that we come across daily. If anyone who is starting a YouTube journey, what kind of path that they could take. Today, we're going to be discussing about the different paths that a creator could take in their YouTube journey.
The mental framework that we have come up with in the past couple of weeks is that there are two paths that creators take once they get started with their content creation journey, right? One is the vertical approach, and vertical approach means that creators start creating content for a very specific niche. It can be anything, as we discussed, and they double down on that niche to create various content for the same audience but in a more nuanced way, and then also start selling high ticket products and all of those things, right? They basically start to double down on that particular niche and then expand within the niche itself. The example of vertical creator is MKBHD. So MKBHD started with tech when he was 15 years ago, and he still covers tech. There's nothing changed with that, right? And on the other hand, we have Mr. Beast. So Mr. Beast started with a gaming video, like a gameplay video of Minecraft. And from there, he explored 1,000 other ideas. And then he's here where we still don't know how to bucket Mr. Beast into. Like, how can we bucket Mr. Beast is still a question. So he does not have a single niche. He has expanded horizontally. So the other approach is the horizontal creators, where they don't have a specific niche and they create content for a very large audience. So anyone on YouTube can just click on the Mr. Beast video. They might not really love it, but then they can definitely watch it for once and then they can enjoy the video. It will make sense for almost all the people on YouTube, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So it's very interesting. So we talked about there are horizontal creators and then there are vertical creators. Right. So let's take the case of NKBHD, who's a vertical creator. Right. Now, when NKBHD starts talking about technology, probably he started as an experiment. I really like phones and I wanted to talk about phones a little more. Hey, here's a platform where if something that I tell is very interesting to my friend, why can't it be interesting to more people on internet? Probably is the goal.
And his first video is basically he reviewing his own laptop. He just bought a new laptop and then he just switched on the camera and started recording it. So
right. But the interesting thing is he is stuck to his passion. So today, yes, I might probably see NKBHD reviewing or doing a vlog. But if MKBHD decides to switch careers and say that, hey, from today onwards, I'm not going to do tech, I'm just going to do vlogging, I doubt if people will be able to relate. I think that's the beauty of it also, right? Now, since he has doubled down on his niche, he has also positioned himself as a certain kind of person in your life. Now, what I mean by that is, if I tomorrow decide to upgrade my life by saying I want to buy an iPhone, right? The first place I would go is YouTube, and the first person that I would go is NKBHD.
Yeah.
Right? So I know there's a specific sort of need or specific sort of mind space that is there in my mind. I'm not a very first mover in terms of tech. Like, what I mean by that is I don't own too many tech gadgets. I do own a smartphone. I do own a smartwatch, but I'm not very picky about it. So for me, his daily videos that he posts on, let's say, Samsung Galaxy versus Redmi does not make sense, because I use probably iPhone, I use OnePlus or whatever. But when I need it, when I search for it, when his video comes, I prefer that.
Yeah. Basically, if you have an iPhone, you won't watch another iPhone's video of this. But then in my case, I'm into tech. And what I do is, even if I have an iPhone, I watch NKBHD's iPhone review just to enjoy the video, because he explores the tech inside every phone and all of those things. So that's the difference. Like, every video of his might not make sense to every person on YouTube, and he's very specific to what he does.
There is beauty to it, because as NKBHD started becoming famous, it gave opportunity for other people who are interested in technology, which was otherwise not monetizable. I could be talking all day about my phone, gadgets and stuff like that. Nobody's going to pay me for it, right? At the max, your uncle might probably come to you and ask what mobile phones I should get, because I know it a little bit more. There was no other validation I ever got. Now, the rise of NKBHD had given hope to way too many people who could do such content and probably earn a living. Then, at a point, it became such a rage that everybody wanted to become a mobile reviewer, because they realized that if I become a reviewer, we're going to get free phones, we're going to get free invites, we're going to get invited to this exclusive parties, etc., etc. And there was a lot of cultural diversity also. Today, if you put up like a iPhone review or a Samsung Galaxy phone review, we use not only in English, but in different regional languages. You see it in Hindi, you see it in Bengali, you see it in Malayalam. So which means NKBHD is not only in US, but its influence is also there in India across different states.
Yeah.
Right? And the production quality is also not less. They are subpar with what probably the lighting and the studio setup, maybe not as much as NKBHD, but they're definitely really good. It's not a random camera anymore. Today, if I start a tech YouTube reviewing, I can't do away with how NKBHD started. It's not gonna, the algorithm at least is not gonna appreciate it. I need to have some sort of USP. I need to have some bare minimum basis, because that entire domain has become crowded. Now, technology is not just mobile phones, right? And not just iPads, not just laptops. Now, technology has disintegrated and they've gone into every fabric of our life, right? Now, watches are technology, cars are technology. Now, tomorrow there are washing machines and the daily appliances that we use. TVs are already smart TVs.
Yeah.
Right? So, if he has stuck to the umbrella of technology, then his audience increases. Not just the audience, the things that you could do within the constraint has actually tremendously increased.
Yeah.
Right? But that's the thing. Just because there are a lot of other people who have come into the field, he never got into vlogging.
Yeah.
Right? That, I think, is a perfect example of vertical based creators.
Yeah. To give you an example from his own creator journey, he loves cars, right? He loves cars. And then we all know that cars are becoming more and more tech nowadays. Tesla has been leading the way. MKBHD, his first review of a Tesla car was put on his main channel. But what he interestingly did was, that exact video was also a camera test of iPhone 7 camera.
Oh, wow.
He entered into reviewing tech cars. He still knew it's under the umbrella of technology and he can make it. But for the audience, it might be too out of the way. So what he did was, he recorded videos, the full video of Tesla cars in that particular phone. And that's basically a camera test for iPhone, and then as well as a review for Tesla. Yeah. And he started with that, and now he has a separate show named Autofocus for cars.
that's vertical based creators. Let's talk a little bit about horizontal based creators.
The true understanding of horizontal creators that I have is basically that you don't really need to know the creator, or you don't really need to know like that channel that he's posting in. It need, like, the previous video need not make sense with the next video. It can be totally independent of each other, but then also still make sense for everyone who's watching that video. But obviously he has his own aura where there are a lot of elements that he has which is like unique to him. But when it comes to the idea that they're exploring, the idea with which they're making the video, that need not fit in within a single box. Is what I think is horizontal creators. Let's take Ali Abdaal for an example, right? He's someone who did start with a specific niche. So
what did he start with?
So he made like the BMAT medical exam videos for students. So he was a student. He was studying for those exams, and he did exceptionally well on those exams. He explained the whole process of writing these exams and studying for these exams, recorded that, and published as YouTube videos. He stuck to that niche for a very long time until he expanded beyond that. But he started with that particular niche. And yeah, now you know who Ali Abdaal is. So you can imagine Ali Abdaal doing a lot of other stuff other than just exam videos, right? Yeah.
So Ali Abdaal is a doctor.
Yeah.
Who turned YouTuber.
Yeah.
And there are detailed notes that these medical students take while they are in college. While Ali Abdaal started by posting videos on how to prepare for these medical exams, I think it also naturally evolved into a productivity channel, because once, if you aren't productive, it's very difficult to probably crack that course of MBBS. So I think it becomes a natural construct in most of the medical students as how to manage time. I feel it's a natural evolution for Ali Abdaal to start talking about that.
Yeah.
Right? Now, over a period of time, you have expanded your audience from just being pro-productivity folks to people who are even normal. When I say normal, what I mean by that is people who are not even thinking about productivity.
He can dip his toes into the ocean of productivity, gyan, and this is what Ali Abdaal's video allows you to do.
Correct. So then he talks about books.
Yeah.
He talks about books that change the way we live, the way we work, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He definitely is a horizontal based creator. Like, I would probably take a mindfulness course from him. I would love to see a video as how he meditates. Right. And I think he was writing some books. I would be the first person to actually go and purchase his book and read about it. But will I read a book about MKBHD? Probably I'll read a book about MKBHD's life. But MKBHD writing a book on how to do tech reviews might be a very niche one. Correct? But if Ali Abdaal writes a book on productivity, it might have a much, much larger audience.
Yeah. Or how to live your life. How to live your life.
How to live your life. Yeah, absolutely. Like, how to live your life.
It's pretty broad.
So there is an amount of honesty or an authenticity to the way he does things. Even though he's a doctor, I'm sure he's way more knowledgeable. But the way he presents himself in the front of a camera makes us feel at home.
Yeah. Again, coming back to the two parts that we are discussing, the horizontal and then the vertical creator, do not mistaken it. To be clear, it's not either horizontal or either vertical. It's a spectrum. It's a spectrum, and then people fall in between these spectrums, and they lean towards being a more horizontal creator or a vertical creator. So let's say MKBHD fits on the other extreme where he's totally vertical, like he's a vertical creator. And let's assume that Mr. Beast is on the other side of the spectrum. Ali Abdaal comes somewhere, he leans towards horizontal, but then is not like exact. You still don't, you cannot believe if Ali Abdaal does a giveaway of so many dollars to a homeless man on the road, right?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's still, he still talks about life, which is like the most horizontal thing anyone can get to. But he's still at some level towards this side of the spectrum. It's still a spectrum, and people involve a lot of different things to place themselves exactly where they want to be, and everything works. Like, it's you who needs to figure out what works for you and what might not work for you. And it comes with the journey. It just happens.
So there are different vibes for different of these creators. We've been talking only about individual creators, but there are YouTube channels who are started as a group. Now, it could be a news organization, something like The Print, or it could be something like CNBC having an arm called CNBC Make It, or even TVF, or in Tamil we have Black Sheep. Right? All of these people, they come together, they believed in a certain ideology, certain way of storytelling, then they started doing sketches.
Yeah.
And then they expanded their brand from it.
Yeah.
For example, TVF evolved into one of the greatest storytelling company out of India. For me, TVF feels like Pixar for regular cinema, because they're able to crack that storyline repeatedly in different fronts, and not just with one writer, but with multiple writers. They've been able to consistent. I would like to see the checklist of TVF to say what is a good cinema, right? Because the other team that I really admired was Pixar, who were able to consistently give these hits, but not just with one director, but with multiple directors. So they all become like media companies.
Yeah.
Even though Ali Abdaal, at some point in time, you can think of him as a media company, but at the end of the day, it's just him, his aura, his personality, what runs it. So for TVF and someone like Black Sheep, they have successfully done it across different people.
Yeah. And I think in recent video, Ali Abdaal himself has been said in his recent video that he has been trying to move towards that, because let's say Ali Abdaal stops making video, the whole empire of Ali Abdaal just stops. Right?
Yeah.
That is not something Ali Abdaal wants or his team wants.
Yeah.
Ali Abdaal has a 20+ member team right now.
Yes.
And you cannot, and all of those cannot just rely on one person who needs to show up every week to make videos, which is a very hard thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's why he's also trying to go the other route, where he started a new company named Part-Time Academy, where it's a whole business that runs in spite of Ali Abdaal being present there. Right?
Yeah.
So people are moving towards there, but yeah, it's still a problem that these creators face. Which does needs to be addressed when you reach a certain scale.
So to finally conclude, if someone is starting their YouTube journey, how should they go about it? Should they be a horizontal creator? Should they be a vertical creator? What's your take?
In my opinion, I think if, let's say, I'm starting a YouTube video, I would probably start with a specific niche and rather not worry about vertical or horizontal creator, because from the study that we have done, it's pretty much clear that people, not even MKBHD or Ali Abdaal or Mr. Beast, wanted to be a horizontal creator or a vertical creator, right? From the videos that they have made and then the journeys that they have had, it's something that it's a path that they organically took, and then they have landed there, and then they are starting to double down from there. I don't think I can decide whether to be a vertical or a horizontal creator in the beginning. What I can do is I'll see what's something that I'm inclined towards, whether making videos like MKBHD or Mr. Beast, and I would just start with whatever I have and organically figure out the path for myself.
I agree to what you say. My perspective would be is every creator starts something online because they enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
I think that should be a very important metric when you grow. Let's say someone has gotten from 0 to 10,000 and then 10,000 to 100k followers, 100k to probably 1 million followers. I feel that every creator should revisit if they still enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
Right? There are 7 billion people, right? If your content is liked only by, let's say, 700k people, what we fail to realize is, let's say 700k people are following your YouTube channel. If you gather them physically, it's going to be like a whole town, right? We just put these people in the form of numbers, and YouTube shows it in the small box. We don't understand the scale of it. We are probably not looking at the scale. Even if your video is being watched by 400 people, 500 people, that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
It might cover an entire mall.
Yeah.
So I think rather than going behind the numbers without thinking much, if we look behind the meaning or the value that we bring to these people, that makes more sense in my opinion. So go ahead, start doing it and keep doing it. So that brings us to the conclusion of the first episode. Yeah, this is our first video in the Frontrunners series. Let us know what you think. If you find something interesting, or if you found it boring, and if you have some interesting ideas, please leave a comment below, and also subscribe to our channel, and we'll keep posting videos once every week. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.